What's up, guys? It's an exciting day. We have a brand new Conjuring movie, Conjuring Last Rites, and we are going to review it for you. Let's go. Conjuring Last Rites stars Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, and is directed by Michael Chavez. Some people say Chavs, I say Chavez.
Saint Michael, defend us. Be our safeguard against the devil.
What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new 2025 review. We have a new Conjuring movie. Devil Made Me Do It came out a couple of years ago. That was a step down, in my opinion, from the first two movies, which I think are kind of the gold standard when it comes to modern possession movies. So in this movie, it seems like they're going back to the tried and true formula of the Warrens going and helping out a family. Whereas the last movie, it was more of a court case. I do need to go back and watch The Devil Made Me Do It, though, because I am curious. I only watched it once, but I just wasn't that impressed. And also, that movie, if you want sort of a similar type story, check out Amityville 2, The Possession. I've reviewed that movie as well. That is, to me, the best haunted house movie ever created, okay? I stand by that. I think it's so freaking great. It's like The Exorcist 3 of the Amityville franchise. More and more people are coming around to it. I still constantly get comments on that review all the time of people stating, yes, Amityville 2 The Possession is the GOAT. That's sort of what the story of Devil Made Me Do It was, but it just failed miserably. Also, guys, going into this review, I'm not going to be too careful, all right, as far as spoilers go. I might drop a spoiler or two along the way. This isn't really a movie that has like a big reveal. It's based on a true story with the Warrens. You can look up the story if you want to, but I don't want to be too careful going into this review. Plus, it's Saturday. This movie has been out for a couple of days. If you wanted to see this movie by now, you probably would have. And I might not spoil anything. I don't even know the next word that's going to come out of my mouth. That's the beauty of these reviews. I love Halloween 6. I know that. So anyway, first off, let's give you a quick plot synopsis. As far as the Conjuring universe goes, the Smurl case is one that had been on the table since the beginning of a potential story that they wanted to tell. The Warrens have been in, like 1,000 different cases. They even say it in the movie. So to cherry pick the best cases to put into movie form, I guess the Smurls is one of the best. Although I gotta say, I mean, yeah, there's some crazy shit that happens in the Smurls house. But to rank it amongst, 1,000 other cases, if this is like the top of the tier, I don't know. But I have been told that if you want to see a really good TV movie about the Smurl case, go and check that out. It came out in like 91, I believe, and it might be on YouTube. I think some of you have let me know. One of my problems with this movie is the handling of the Smurl case. The opening of the movie is kind of cool because it takes place in 1964. We get to see a very young Warren couple. This might have been their first case, but they come upon this mirror, which factors into the story later. And Lorraine Warren touches the mirror, it cracks, and then she goes into labor. And so then when she goes into labor, the baby is stillborn. See? Spoilers. There you go. And the doctors pretty much give up hope. They're even saying, I'm sorry for your loss. But then she says, give me the baby. And the baby miraculously survives. And that baby is Judy. This is the third actress, I believe, that's played Judy in this series. I got Annabelle Comes Home back there, if you over there. That's a really underrated little movie in this whole Conjuring universe, actually. And Judy is the main character of that movie. With McKenna Grace, whose star power has really risen since that movie. I wish she would have come back in this movie, but, nothing against the young actress that played Judy. I think she does a fine job here. So then we fast forward to 1986 with the Smurl case. And the movie does take its time getting into, I guess, the action stuff of the Smurl case. It opens with them having this birthday party for one of the daughters, and they get the mirror. The mirror always finds its way back. And then almost immediately after this, the light fixture just falls and hits the girl over the head. And she gets this bad accident. So throughout the rest of the movie, during the Smurl portion of the movie, they sprinkle in some of the occurrences that have happened throughout. Like the father being essayed by a ghost. And I guess the baseline of the Smurl case is there is this murder that happened. I believe this young girl had killed two other people in the house. And so I guess the mirror had awakened the whole thing. See, I don't know if the mirror really factors into the story in real life, because the Smurls had lived in that house for a good 10 years before all this started happening. But the movie would make you believe that they had just moved into the house and automatically it started happening. But I think the mirror is sort of like a vessel, right? And wherever that mirror is, there are going to be hauntings. Sort of like, The Nun. When you see that picture of the nun, wherever that is, some bad shit's going to happen. Sidestep, that's the cool thing about this Conjuring universe, is you never know what you're going to get. And it's not one of those universes where the first movie's the best and then everything just slowly descends in quality. No, you might have an Annabelle and think that movie sucks, but then Annabelle Creation is awesome. You might have a Nun and you think that movie sucks, but then The Nun 2 is actually awesome, in my opinion. You never know what you're going to get with these movies, and I was pretty excited about going into this one. So now let's get into, I guess, the pros and the cons of what I liked about The Conjuring Last Rites and disliked. The pros, and this is like an asterisk type thing. If you are a massive fan of the Warrens in these movies, the Warrens are like the cowbell. Give me more cowbell. If you need cowbell throughout your entire movie, this movie gives you plenty of Warren cowbell, okay? This is the only review out of all of YouTube that you will hear somebody mention Warren cowbell. All right, you're welcome. And yeah, I think out of all the Conjuring movies, this one's the one that really puts the Warrens kind of front and center, and that does kind of factor into my problem with the movie as well. But, this being the send-off of the Warrens and maybe the passing of the torch to Judy, they're wanting to honor them as much as possible, which they do that in this movie as well. And I don't think anything involving the Warrens is necessarily bad stuff throughout, but you're so interested in this Smurl case that the scenes where you get to the Smurl, see, I'm already jumping into the cons. Damn it, I'm the worst reviewer ever. I do apologize. But yeah, once you get to the Smurl stuff, you're like, okay, here we go. Yeah, let's give me some more of that stuff, because there are some nice little scares throughout with the Smurl sections, but then they pull you right out of it, and then you got to jump back into the Warrens and the daughter Judy with her boyfriend. And at times you're asking yourself, what movie am I watching here? Am I watching like a family drama type movie, a love story? Or am I watching a haunting type movie? I don't know. So I guess tone-wise, it does kind of get all over the place. But trying my best to stay on the good of the movie. It's a beautifully shot movie by Michael Chavez. I do like Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. They are always very, very charming. The scares, there are some that really work in this movie quite well, I think. You're not going to be running out of the theater, okay? It's your pretty much modern day jump scare type tropes, but I think they do it the best they can. This isn't like your A24 Neon type possession movie. And I think I've kind of been spoiled by some of those, because those movies really keep me on my toes. And I think they're much more creative in terms of the scare department. But this is, it's the very definition of a big studio-driven Warner Brothers possession movie, which is not a bad thing at all. Okay, Warner Brothers did The Exorcist, all right? So monetarily throwing everything in the kitchen sink budget-wise into the movie, you get that with these movies. Also, one of the kills is really awesome when they're trying to throw the mirror in the garbage. One of the girls gets sick and she starts throwing up blood and glass. That was unique, and that's something I've never seen before, and I thought was really cool. So again, there are a couple of cool little scare scenes in here. Okay, let's jump into some of the problems that I had with this movie. I think the runtime is too long, 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I know why, because I think, again, they're trying to give you way too much in the way of the Warrens in this movie and not enough in the way of the Smurl case. Look at it like a high school dance, right? And you got the Smurl case dancing in front of you and doing their best rendition of Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, and you're having a good time and you're eating your popcorn, and then boom, here comes the Warren stepping in front of it and pushing them off the freaking stage. I bet you never thought you were gonna get a Rick Astley reference in a Conjuring Last Rites review, but hey, here you are. You're welcome. Every time I got really, really excited about the Smurl case and what was going on, because I'm very interested in that case, I felt like it just kind of got pushed out of the way to focus more on the Warrens. This almost feels like two movies put together. Also, and this isn't really a complaint, it's just more of an observation, but the Warrens do not get to the Smurl case for quite a while in the movie. They are very resistant, as they should be. They are in their twilight years, or, you know, up there in age, retirement age. They don't want to do this anymore. Ed Warren is having his heart issues, and so they're resistant. Lorraine is trying to protect her husband, and you know, they don't need any more drama in their life, right? So they avoid this case at all costs. But then there's this moment where the family priest, he actually dies because he goes to investigate this Smurl case, and he sees the issues that this family's having, and then he runs back to the Warrens and tells them, hey, you should definitely check this out. This family, they are definitely in need. And he eventually kills himself. In the movie. I don't know if in real life he did, okay? We're just sticking to entertainment here. But the Warrens, they eventually do step in and try to help. And here's another problem that I have with the movie. They step in too late time-wise in the movie, because it's almost like they get there and then, oh, boom, we're in the last act. They don't have enough time to really get to know the family like they did in the first two movies. And that's the meat of the movie. I think these movies work best when you have the Warrens and the family in need throughout the entire movie. And I think editing-wise, maybe they should have went that route with this. Let's start the movie with the Warrens actually arriving at the Smurl house, and then take some time for the Warrens to get to know the family and help them out. I think that works better. But here, again, it feels like two movies. It takes forever for them to actually get to the Smurl house. And then by the time they get there, it feels very rushed. So it's just strange. And I don't think there's enough of a focus on the threat in the Smurl house. At the end of the day, it just felt like another angry ghost in a house. And it didn't really give it any character. And there's been so many great examples of this throughout time in possession movies where the threat, the ghost, actually does have sort of a signature about them that gets you more invested in the story and really just sends a chill down your spine. This one doesn't really take advantage of that, and I think there are some creepy things about the Smurl case. So in the end, guys, I'm going to give this just a straight-up humdrum. I think it's a little bit better than The Devil Made Me Do It, but I don't think it compares to the first two movies. And it might not even compare to a couple of the spin-off, you know, Annabelle movies, and even like The Nun 2. I am considering doing a ranking. I might do a ranking for the franchise. You let me know. I just don't have enough time to go back and rewatch all the movies, so it will be based off of my memory of these movies. But if you guys want that, let me know down in the comments. Also, be sure to come over to Kill Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day on Fridays. We do FIFA on Fridays. Follow me, Drumdums, on my social. Support me on Patreon. Become a channel member. Buy me a coffee. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Drumdum out.